Hello, everyone. Welcome to my FlossTube channel. My name is Jessie Lee, and I'm coming at you with video number 6. I just recently surpassed 250 subscribers. Yay! Thank you, everybody who has watched my videos and decided to subscribe to me. It makes me feel so good to know that so many people are enjoying what I have to share. However, whenever I see that I've gotten a new subscriber and I click the little notification icon and find that there's just a generic blank YouTube profile there and not, another FlossTube or other videos that person has made, I always feel a little bit disappointed. And it's not because I expect every single person to have a FlossTube. That is just crazy. No. I just feel a little bit sad that there's really no information about the people on YouTube so I can get to know my subscribers. I have 252 subscribers right now, but I feel like I only know about 20 of you as people. And that just makes me sad. It's not fair. I think that's sort of a disadvantage of being a creator on the YouTube platform. It's that it can just become very one-sided, and I don't like that. So I am going to attempt to make the comments section on my videos more of a conversation space so I can read things about you and get to know you better. And maybe you guys can read each other's comments and we can all start talking to each other a little bit more and have this feel a bit more personal. So from now on in each of my videos, I think I'm going to ask a little question of the day. Just give you a little prompt to go down into the comment section and tell me a bit about yourself and your thoughts. All right, so my first question of the day is pretty basic, but I think it will be pretty cool to learn. And that is, where are you from? Where do you live? And what's your favorite thing about living there? Or if you don't like where you live, tell me why it sucks. I was inspired to ask this question because lately I've just been really soaking up the beauty of my spot here in Maplewood, Minnesota, and feeling just extremely grateful that I live here. We bought our house here in Maplewood in 2019, and we bought the house because we liked the house and we had to rush to buy it because the real estate market at the time was moving really fast. And when we first got here, we didn't know much about our neighborhood, and it took us a little while to get to know our area because, well, two reasons. The first is our kids were still in preschool back in Eagan, Minnesota, 20 minutes away, which was the town that we started out in when we first moved up to Minnesota. So we were spending a lot of time commuting back to Eagan and kind of spending a lot of our day in the town that we were already familiar with because we'd had an apartment back there. And the other reason was we bought our house in March. So it was really still cold and icky outside. The winter previous to that had been very, very harsh. So it was just so miserable and just hard to get out of the house and explore. One thing we discovered quickly after moving was around the corner from us is a large public park area. And it looked really pretty from what we saw of it when we would drive past it to just go to the grocery store. In March, what we noticed was the cute picnic pavilions and the long walking trail that had people's footprints in it, and the tall, beautiful trees, and just this wonderful, wide open space that was just covered in beautiful, pristine snow. It did not at all occur to my landlocked Nebraskan prairie girl brain that wide expanse of snow was actually an iced over lake. No, it wasn't until about 6 weeks later, when things had thawed out a bit, that I got the gumption to trek through the park, and I actually saw flowing water that it occurred to me, holy shit, I bought a house right next to a lake. That's right. We bought a house less than half a block away from a really pretty lake, and I had no idea it was even there. We were aware, though, that we are biking distance away from Lake Phalen, which is a really large lake. It's kind of a landmark of St. Paul, and it is a beautiful lake with a really fun swimming beach and really nice parks and picnic areas and trails all around it. So we had Lake Phalen in mind when we bought our house because we knew that was a great feature of our neighborhood. We had no clue that Keller Lake was right next to us. In fact, the trailhead leading to the lake is 3 houses down from me. Keller Lake doesn't have a swimming beach, but it does have boating and fishing, and of course the beautiful walking trail and picnic areas. And it's just a really beautiful place to explore any and every day that we feel like it. The other day, I took a lovely little walk by myself down to Keller Lake, and it's the first time I've really been close to the lake since it's been thawed out in the springtime, and it was just super nice to see the water moving again. I really do start to miss the lake when it's under ice for so long. And while I was at the lake, I got to see the two bald eagles that live there. There is a pair of eagles that have lived at the lake for at least as long as we've lived in our house. And they actually have two giant nests on opposite ends of the lake that they seem to sort of rotate occupying. And right now they're at the nest that is actually closer to my house, which is cool. We see the eagles swooping and flying around our neighborhood all the time, and they're really neat. It's kind of funny. I've kind of gotten used to seeing the eagles and bald eagles in general since we've moved to Minnesota. They're a lot more common up here, and it's just kind of funny to be used to seeing eagles. I remember one time I saw a bald eagle in the sky when I was driving in Nebraska when I lived there, and I just about ran off the road because I was so surprised and excited to see it. It's just goofy because nowadays, if I'm out and about driving and happen to see an eagle flying, I'm always like, cool, an eagle, whatevs. The two eagles over at Keller Lake are really beloved by our community, and it can be really amusing to see people hunkered down near the nesting tree trying to catch a glimpse of them. Especially during the summer, there's always just a crowd of people setting up lawn chairs and sitting down with their binoculars and cameras trying to see the eagles. And it can be such a spectacle. It's really funny. Every time I drive by on my way home with groceries, I check out the grass near the eagle spot to see how many groupies the eagles have that day. Keller Lake then feeds directly into a much quieter lake, the actual third lake that we have to enjoy in our neighborhood, and it's called Lake Gervais. And Lake Gervais is bigger than Keller Lake, but it is quieter because it isn't as open to the public. It doesn't have a big walking path all the way around it. Instead, it has a bunch of residential homes built around it. But it is a public lake still, and at one end it has a really cute, quiet, small little swimming beach with a playground next to it. And that is the lake that I think we've come to love to swim at the most. The absolute highlight of the past 2 weeks has been taking the kids down to the Lake Gervais beach in their rain boots to have their first little splash of the year. We actually went on a terribly cold and gloomy day. They were actually wearing their winter coats and hats in addition to their rain boots. But it's just been terribly cold and gloomy in general around here, and I was just desperate to go outside and enjoy the beauty of nature anyway. So I just got a wild hair to bring the kids along and let them go touch the water. And they actually touched the water a bit too much and got their pants soaking wet, and they were pretty freezing cold, but it wasn't a big deal because it only took us 60 seconds to get home, and they had a nice warm bath afterwards. And that kind of experience with the lake is just what I dreamed of in living here in Minnesota, except this is just more than I even expected. I wanted to come up here mainly so we would have a more outdoorsy living experience, but I was fine with just living in the city and having a reasonable driving distance to the woods and the lakes. I never dreamed that we would live this close to a bunch of lakes, so we could just have the lake experience at any time. It's truly amazing, and I'm just so grateful that this is the place we ended up, very much by surprise and very much on God's timing and not ours. Is there anything special about the place you live that you feel grateful for? I would love to know about it, so please leave it in the comments for me. Anyways, if you guys have been noticing snoring noises throughout this whole video, they've been coming from Casper, who I have back here. He is sound asleep. Casper? Hello? Okay, now I will get down to business and talk about cross stitch, which is what y'all came here for, right? Right. I have 4 whips to show you, and I have to say, 4 whips feels kind of overwhelming to me. And I know that must be hilarious to quite a few of you because so many stitchers have way more than 4 whips going, but I used to be a monogamous stitcher, and it seems the longer I'm involved with FlossTube, the more little projects just want to sneak their way into my life. And the first one I'm going to show you is one of those little sneaky projects. It is a SAL that I have joined. My friend Sarah, her FlossTube is Sarah Stitches. She, over on Instagram, is hosting a SAL, and the hashtag for it is Stitching Till the Cows Come Home. And she has invited everyone to stitch up the cow pattern of their choice. And the cow pattern I chose is a vintage one from a 1990 issue of Cross Stitch and Country Crafts magazine. And here's what it looks like. Now, I am omitting the word from the middle because I'm going to turn my finish into a little fridge magnet. And I also changed all of the colors in the pattern and made my own choices. I have a yellow themed kitchen. All of my kitchen gadgets and tools and pots and pans and bowls and small appliances are yellow because when I first moved out of my parents' house and into my first apartment, I made the decision then that I was only going to have yellow kitchen stuff. And I've been working on that collection ever since. And I still really enjoy it. I love my cheerful yellow kitchen. So good job, 21-year-old Justine. That was a great decision. Anyway, I changed all the colors in this pattern to suit my very yellowy tastes. And this is what mine is looking like so far. I have yellow and blue as an accent color because yellow and blue is one of my very favorite color combos. In fact, maybe I should just move to Sweden because I really love their flag. I'm just joking. Anyway, my favorite part of this so far is the little wheats on the bottom surrounding the heart. That motif is just so pretty, and I just love the backstitch detail to them. I think they look so sweet. As you can see, these colors a little brighter, a little more pastel, just like I like most of the time. And I'm really enjoying the stitch so far. It's pretty easy. All I got to do next is the really fun part, which is putting in the critters and the foods. And I really love stitching smalls like this. It just feels so natural to hold the little hoop in my hand and just stitch away. Unfortunately, most of my projects have been bigger pieces, and I think it's because I am a beginner stitcher, so I'm trying to accumulate some larger anchor pieces to hang up around my home. And then someday I think I'll take a year and just have a busy year of tons and tons of smalls and fill in all around the big anchor pieces that I've been working on. But like I said, just holding a little hoop just feels so natural and comfortable and fun. The other project that I distinctly remember enjoying so much because it involved a little hoop was my little moon bunnies that I have on the shelf back there. I've shown that one in the past. I don't think you can see it very well here in this video, but anyway, I am really loving this project. I know I'm going to get it done very soon. I'm not sure when I'll FFO it because, like I said, I have multiple other projects going, and other plans for more too. But right now I am enjoying it and doing my best, and I'm really excited for this to one day soon become a fridge magnet so I can go in my kitchen every day and see this and think of my wonderful hobby and my wonderful FlossTube and my wonderful friend Sarah. I am stitching this up on plain old 18 count Aida. I just thought Aida was appropriate for this little project. You know, it's just very classic looking, and I think it just lends itself to a cute little country small like this. Well, I will show you my progress on my temperature garden. I've been keeping up with it, and there are a couple more flowers on there now than there were last time I showed it to you. And I remember last time I showed this, I was freaking out because I had stitched some petals representing some crazy high temperatures that we had had. And it's just nice to see in these following flowers that the temperatures have come back down to fairly normal for this time of year. And here's what they look like. I am still really enjoying my color conversion that I've made for this piece. This is a pattern by Sarah Hughes, the Stitchin' Mommy, here on FlossTube. And I am stitching this on 28 count white Lugana. I was calling this even weave for a while, but I did recently figure out that this is Lugana specifically. It's just white, and it doesn't really matter, not a big deal. I'm stitching it over one, and the flower petals and the flower centers and the months are stitched with one strand of floss, but the grass and the flower stems are stitched with 2 threads. So this is my temperature garden, and I'm having so much fun with this one. I think it's turning out beautiful. I also made some good progress on my spring cat sampler. My spring cat sampler is a design by Nancy Rossi, and this is what the cover photo looks like. It's a pretty substantial piece, and last time I showed it to you, I have completed these bottom motifs, and my most recent progress last time was the black trellis, the lilies of the valley, and then I had stitched in the X's for the bleeding heart flowers, but no leaves and no backstitch. And I've moved on quite a bit from that, and this is what it is looking like. It's a big piece, and it's on a scroll frame, so it's a little tricky for me to show, but I filled in that whole motif rectangle on the side there. Got the trellis done. I got the bleeding hearts done, going up to the little rosebuds at the top. And then there's a tiny little dragonfly and the word rose up there. Isn't that so cute? I had to actually unwind the whole bottom for my scroll frame so you can see all of this. This is a very narrow and tall piece, and it looks so big so far, and I have a little further up to go still. Sabrina just entered the room, and she is rubbing against the legs of my desk and against my legs, so if the camera is jiggling, I apologize. Sabrina's just here, and she will settle in a bit. Anyway, cats are distracting. My scroll frame continues to be the ultimate tool to help me make good progress on my spring cat sampler. I am just cruising right along stitching on it now, and it's such a relief because I really had sort of a clunky start with it in the beginning, but I'm in the groove now, and I'm really excited by my progress and having a lot of fun. And I also have a clearer picture of how long it will take me to actually complete this piece. I hope that I can get it done sometime this summer, and then I will move on to the autumn cat sampler. It looks like this, and hopefully I will get that one completed sometime around the new year. No huge rush. I will slip in a few sals and smalls along the way, I'm sure. And then hopefully by the end of 2022, I will have completed the other 2 charts, the winter cat sampler and the summer cat sampler. This is winter, and this is summer. And I would just really love to successfully complete this goal of having all 4 seasonal cat samplers done in 2 years. I think that'll be really cool. Hi, Sabrina. The 4th project I've been working on is my own personal version of the Birthstone Girls by Soda Stitch. Here are the patterns from Soda Stitch. This is Birthstones 1. Very cute little girls. And this is Birthstones 2. And what I've been doing is Frankensteining different heads, stones, dresses, and legs from a few of these girls, and then piecing them together to make new Birthstone girls that better represent my grandmother, my mother, myself, and my daughter. Each of us is getting our own original Birthstone girl stitched up. And I have just been working away, creating the chart, and I hope to stitch each lady in the month of their birthday. So I will be stitching my mom first. Her birthday is actually coming up this week. So let me show you the chart that I've made, how it's looking so far. I got the outlines of everyone done. So I have all the pieces picked out and stuck together, looking the way they will. And I have them placed the distance apart from each other, standing together as the look in the final piece. And I even charted out names and birthdays down below. And this is how they'll look together horizontally. It's probably pretty hard for you guys to see because it's all in pencil and just an outline right now, but I'll show you them up close. This girl is for my grandma. That's my mom. That's the one that I will actually start stitching right away next week. There's the one for me. And that's the one for my little Sylvie girl. And charting this up took quite some time because, I had lots of little pieces to pick out and to get to fit correctly together. And on two of the girls, I actually flipped the entire design horizontally. So they would be facing the way that would look best when they were standing together in the group. So this chart took a little fuss to put together, but now that I have it this far, coloring them in and then stitching up each girl should go fairly smoothly, I hope. The fabric I'm stitching these girls on just arrived in the mail from 123 Stitch today, just in time for me to start stitching up my mom as soon as possible. And this is the fabric. This is 25 count white opalescent Lugana. And I went with white fabric again because each girl is going to have a different colored dress. And I felt that just choosing white would be the easiest for me to guarantee that it wouldn't clash with something somebody was wearing. But I did go for the opalescent because I thought the sparkles were just really cute and appropriate to go with the shiny gemstones that each girl was holding. And I had to buy an entire yard of this. They did have smaller cuts that are closer to what the finished size of my piece would be, but since this is such a wide piece, I really had my heart set on the strands of opalescence running horizontally through the fabric. And if I chose a cut that was closer to the size of my finished piece, well, I had no guarantee that the orientation of the strands of shiny thread in the fabric would be oriented horizontally. So I sprung for a yard, and that's okay. I mean, it's white. There's certainly other projects I can use the leftovers on. I also bought two other little goodies, and the first one is this cute pin that I got off AliExpress, and I think I'm going to turn this into a needle minder. It's this little cauldron full of art supplies that says "Make Magic." I think it is so cute, and I love the bright colors on it too, especially the yellow, my favorite. I also bought a very cute PDF pattern that I want to stitch up as a present for my daughter's teacher. Her kindergarten teacher's name is Mrs. Fox, and I found this cute fox pattern. It's called Fall Fox, and this fox has a cute little owl sitting on its tail. And I thought it would make an adorable teacher gift for Mrs. Fox. So I am going to kit up and start stitching on this ASAP so I get it done before the end of the school year, which is in June. That's all I have to share today. So thank you for watching, and please remember to comment down below where you live and what you like or don't like about living there. And before I go, I just want to share the motto of my grandmother who inspired me both in stitching and in life. God loves you and I love you. Bye. Happy stitching.